We've all had those moments, right? A service experience that's just amazing. And then, of course, the ones that are deeply, deeply frustrating. Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain and look at the actual science of service to figure out why your favorite coffee shop, or really any great business, seems to get it right time and time again.
It's a question we've all asked ourselves. I mean, what really separates that one barista who somehow remembers your order every time from an automated phone menu that just traps you in an endless loop? What is that secret ingredient that makes some interactions feel totally effortless and others feel like you're gearing up for a fight?
Well, it turns out that secret ingredient isn't an ingredient at all. It's actually a recipe. See, great service is not an accident. It's not just getting lucky with a happy employee on a good day. It is a deliberate, carefully engineered system. And today, we're going to break down the blueprints for how that system works.
Okay, so let's dive right into our first framework. It's called the profit chain reaction. And that subtitle really says it all. A concept that might feel a little backwards at first, profitability doesn't actually start with the customer, it starts with the employee.
This is the service profit chain, and you can think of it like a set of dominoes. The really critical insight here is where it all begins. It's not with the customer, but with something called internal service quality, basically how a company treats its own team. When employees feel supported and valued, they're more satisfied and productive. That, in turn, allows them to create real value for customers. The chain reaction is pretty clear. Happy employees lead to happy customers, and that is what ultimately drives profit and growth.
So, just how important is that very first link in the chain, internal service quality? Well, get this. This number is just staggering. A famous study called the iceberg of ignorance found that top management is typically aware of only 4% of the problems their frontline employees face every single day. 4%! This just shows you why listening to your team isn't just a nice thing to do. It's absolutely essential to keeping that first domino from falling. And what happens if that link in the chain breaks? Well, the costs are huge. It's estimated that replacing just one employee costs the company about 6 to 9 months of that person's salary. That shows you that investing in your employees isn't some soft expense. It's a direct move to protect the bottom line. When happy employees stick around, the company avoids these massive costs and keeps the whole profit chain moving. Okay, so a happy team is the engine. But how does all that power actually reach the customer? That brings us to our second model, the promise triangle. And this is all about making sure a company's actions actually live up to its words. It all starts with what a company tells you. That's its external marketing. You know, the promise it makes in its commercials, on its website, that kind of thing. But, a promise doesn't mean much if you can't back it up. So the company has to turn inward with internal marketing, actually training and empowering their employees to deliver on that promise.
Because it all comes down to this: interactive marketing. That's the moment of truth. It's when you and an employee actually interact, and in that moment, the promise is either kept or it's broken. Let's be real, promises get broken all the time. So when a service experience fails, where exactly did it all go wrong? Well, our next framework, the gap model, is like a powerful diagnostic tool for pinpointing the exact source of the problem. What this model shows us is that there are 5 potential gaps. 5 places where things can fall apart between what a customer expects and what they actually get. A failure in service can almost always be traced back to one of these specific breakdowns. These 5 gaps show exactly where a service can fail. Let's stick with that coffee shop example. A knowledge gap is not even realizing your customers want oat milk. A policy gap is knowing they want it but not making it a standard item on the menu. The delivery gap, that's when oat milk is on the menu but the barista tells you they're all out. And the communication gap is advertising your amazing oat milk lattes when the store has never even carried it. Each one of these failures widens that final, crucial customer gap, that space between what you hoped for and what you actually got. So far, we've really been focused on the company side of things. But now, let's flip the script. How do we, as customers, actually judge the quality of a service? This brings us to a really simple but powerful framework, and it connects directly to a deeper issue: ethics and trust.
So research has found that there are 5 key things we customers use to evaluate service, and it makes this handy acronym RATER. Reliability, did they do what they promised? Assurance, do they inspire trust? Tangibles, do the place and the people look professional? Empathy, do they actually seem to care? And responsiveness, were they quick and willing to help? Whether we realize it or not, this is pretty much the mental scorecard we're all using in every single service encounter.
And that assurance part, that feeling of trust, it goes way beyond just good service. It gets right into the heart of ethics. As Richard Fain from Royal Caribbean Group puts it, just being okay or just following the rules, that's not the goal. The best companies aim to be above and beyond compliance, building a real culture of integrity and trust.
And look, this isn't just about principles, it's about profits. The data here is crystal clear. More than half of us will literally stop buying from a company we see as unethical. This shows that ethics aren't some side project for a business. They are absolutely central to keeping customers loyal and being successful in the long run. So, after looking at all these models, it kind of leaves us with one final thought. Whether you're the customer waiting in line or the person behind the counter, it's worth asking, is the service you experience or the service you're providing built on a real system of trust and value and respect? Or is it just good enough? Because as all the science shows, the difference between those two, well, it's everything.